we'll make them parts for tonight.
So how about that interview?
So, are we off camera? Oh no, we are on. Okay, fine. No, we're no. But
so I have to jump back because I left something out. So that is where
Greg and Donny News Show, part 3.
That's
Go ahead. Shannon Rice.
That's my thoughts as far as why I'm in favor of lower taxes. We came here because of lower taxes.
Lower taxes in the city or state or where?
It is, well, state and city.
Okay.
And all the way around. It was just so expensive, everything you did.
Yeah.
So I want to keep that. That's not something that I would want to take away from anyone else. That was the draw for us. I see other people that come here. You have a lot of military that are on, retired military that are on fixed income.
But we can't have an entire community based on retired folks, though.
We cannot. And we won't. It'll work itself out.
So how do we make
that's
Milton more exciting for people to want to live here?
Oh, well, so...
Milton, the center of the universe. Drive to, not through. That's my bumper sticker.
The downtown's very cute and it has a lot of potential. I think we should enhance that. We should work with what we have and work on improving that. And that's going to happen. Some of that's going to happen naturally when the courthouse moves. We have gorgeous.
Explain the courthouse a little bit, because people, especially people who are new to the area like I was, and people always assume there's a courthouse sitting right in the middle of prime land in the center of the historic district of Milton. It's a large building, takes up a lot of traffic. There are bail bonds and other folks around here related to that. And so when the courthouse goes, there's going to be all this land to do stuff with, and a lot of other related businesses, lawyers, bail bonds, things like that, they're going to go too. And we have just an incredible opportunity to move in, crazy hat shops and gourmet Italian restaurants. And
who moves in will be
nightclubs. We can buy
whatever their market demands, right? So
I want to put you down. I was watching a special on the Bee Gees last night. So I was like, I'm thinking, great, we need a dance club in town. But what should go where the courthouse is?
Well, there was a plan, I think it's about 10 years old, a plan for a modern library that's more like a media center. And
that's exciting.
So
I'm teasing. No, seriously.
When I was a kid, we would go to Charlotte on field trips, and there was a Discovery Center there, Discovery Place, and it was a interactive science place.
Well, that's more fun than a library.
Yeah, they have them with math now.
Okay.
So something like that, something interactive. I think something that brings people for field trips. It also is a nice place to go. It's cool in the summer when we're dealing with this heat. To go in.
Well, let me ask Donny, because you're going to be out of college next year, right? So you could go anywhere in the country to do what you want to do, but you want to stay here, right? Mm-hmm. So what's the attraction for you to this area, that insights that you might be able to give Shannon, to help make it, more of an enhancement for younger folks coming out of college that want to get started?
I mean, it's my home, so that's the big thing. And as I've said before, I see a lot of potential in it.
Okay.
I think right now, more than ever before, there's just a lot going on, and there's a lot of people committed to the town, and I've never seen that before. So I'd like to stay and help out, and I'd like to be here when that's all done.
Yeah.
See, and that's what my thing was. Is I like to see good things happening.
Right.
And I want to be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed just in the last year that I've been here, and I came here to be the morning host on WVY, and I knew nobody. I didn't even met my boss when I showed up here. I knew nothing about this town, and just fell in love with the place immediately. And I love the historic nature of it. I love the small businesses. I love the fact that everybody knows each other pretty much downtown. I can walk around and just know people on a first name basis. And having watched just in a year some of the newer businesses that have sprung up here, Boomerangs is getting bigger and better. The pizza, we love Boomerangs. Boomerangs is great. Okay, Scoops Ice Cream is new. In fact, Amber was a guest in the 8 to 9 hour on my show. The day she opened, she opened at 11, and we generated enough people, enough interest on that 8 to 9 show. She had a line out her door, by the time she opened up the store. And other businesses too. There's like the 3 women that cut hair. There's other places. There's a comic shop and all these different things. But there's space. There's open business, things that could go there. The potential, the waterfront. To have like a little Champs-Élysées of the water, set up the umbrellas. We'll have the foo-foo waiter with the white towel stuff, serving the overpriced drinks, and all that kind of cool stuff can go on downtown. There's so much. The water tours, there could be like a Pensacola high-speed water shuttle. There's the other night. did you see the thing we posted with the two pontoon, the bike thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we want to do that. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay, so for those of you who haven't, you got to check the Facebook page, okay? Because so much goes on. You know, this show never stops. You know, we are 24/7. There's always something going on. The Greg and Donny News Show Facebook page, My Action Radio Facebook page. I still have the someone stealing a car out there? They can have mine. No, you can't. I need it. You know. But anyway, that's part of the. This is what makes things fun. Just like I say, just everything gets thrown right in. But I mean, they have this bicycle, all right. And so you put your bike on these two pontoon inflatable things. First of all, you pedal your bike like crazy to inflate these pontoons, right? Then you put your bike on, you hop on the water, and hope that an alligator doesn't bite one and puncture it. No, I'm just kidding about that. But anyway, I want to do bike races. I want to do water bike races in Milton, like across have like a couple of different checkpoints.
We need
you
more
can do like a bike
tournaments.
rally.
We need conventions.
Oh yeah,
we
yeah.
need some traffic.
Because and you know you'd be good to do that. Vanessa and what's his name, Spar. Tyler Spar, the bike jumping guy, okay? Tyler, if you're watching, we know this is going to get you because I mentioned your name, okay? He's the one that does the loops, all right?
Yeah.
So he'd be the perfect person to coordinate, you know, a bike race on the water. Everybody knows everybody, everybody helps everybody. That's what makes this town special. That's why it's nice to live here. So I should do a promo. Hi, if you want a place to live, check out Milton. Yeah, I mean, but seriously, that's why we're so interested in what's going on here. Do you have another question, Donny?
Yeah.
Hold on.
So,
go ahead.
This might almost seem like a ridiculous question, but I actually know people who have this concern. Particularly some of the older people have told me that they're scared that with all the progress happening and with bars, things like that coming in, that downtown Milton is just about to turn into a second New Orleans, and it's going to be a place of sin. Is that something you see happening at any point?
I don't see it happening because I don't think that the market here will support it.
Right.
Because if so many people are against that happening, then they wouldn't patronize those businesses. And I would like to think that businesses will do their research. So I don't see it happening. It hasn't happened.
Yeah, I think I remember some of the council meetings that you probably listened to as well, where that was a big discussion. And they had what they call an overlay. So they had an area where bars were going to be allowed within the historic district. And the concern, if I can sort of break this, tell me if this makes sense. So the way the two factions broke up over this, there was a group that didn't want any kind of bar at all because they figured they'd be like, strip biker bars where people would be racing their Harleys through the windows and they'd be littering everything and crashing through buildings and causing all kinds of problems. And other groups are saying, no, we're talking about, it's just alcohol. It could be like Brew Angels, that has trivia night on Wednesdays, and it's family-friendly fun. And there's another craft brewery going up across the street.
And I would definitely say anyone that is scared of it being wild to go into Brew Angels. Brew Angels is very nice, very calm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We did a couple of shows at Brew Angels.
They're great.
We've been there, yeah. But the people, I think once they see the reality, I don't see a business like and there are places where biker bars are perfectly appropriate. I don't think downtown Milton is one of them because it's such a family place. You get the bands and the Blackwater
I think it would be problems with noise ordinance.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be their preferred location.
Okay. So where do you stand on the bar situation? Just to kind of clarify that, as far as either restaurants with alcohol or anything. Where do you come down on that whole issue?
That we are adults and we make our own decisions.
Okay. Yay. I had an argument too. In fact, I went to the city council and argued for the idea of restaurants and bars serving alcohol because everything that the other folks were complaining about was already illegal. Littering is illegal. Crashing into buildings is illegal. Driving drunk is illegal. So everything that they were talking about, everything they objected to is already against the law. So you can't make it more against the law if it's already against the law. Okay, so that's why I'm saying at least allow the progress, and if there's a particular business causing problems, we can deal with that. But if you've got, the nice Italian restaurant with the Chianti bottle, with the little candle dripping the wax down the side, overlooking the Blackwater River and the moon shining off it, you getting this image in your head? Okay, that's a problem? Yeah. That's going to be great! I get enthusiastic about
this. And if you don't want to drink, you don't have to have a drink.
Exactly. Yeah, I love bars, but I hardly drink. It's kind of funny. Little bars and saloons and all those crazy places. But I just, just anyway, yeah, okay. I have a whole other area. You mentioned something before when you were talking about, it was back in sort of our Air Force chat, about NAFTA and losing the textile industry in your town, Gastonia?
Yes.
Ooh, good memory. I like that. I don't do that all the time, okay? But what I'm interested in is how national and international issues would affect Milton, like NAFTA, like trade agreements, like Paris climate change, of course, anything that you can think of that is, macro scale. Does anything come to mind as something you want to work on with Milton, one of these big issues that affects us directly, even though we're just a local place here?
Well, I mean, like an environmental concern?
I don't know, like NAFTA in general, like trade. Are we losing jobs? Are we? I think there's a wood industry here. I think there's lumber. There's, I see the lumber trucks going by. Is that something that a trade agreement or any of the tariffs that are going in on things like steel or some of the other things, have you? Again, like I say, you don't have to be an expert on all this stuff. I ask questions that are way out there, but I'm just curious, just as a, maybe we can sort of reason this out a little bit.
No, I do not know of that.
Okay.
But that goes back to what I was saying as far as I think the city should keep metrics on what's going on. So if they see and I don't know if it's legal to track someone by sales tax, so I don't know if that's the way.
Okay.
But if you saw a dip in that, I just say that because it's measurable, but if you saw a dip in sales tax, then you could go to that business, if it's a business that collects sales tax, and say, what's happening, is there something I can help you with?
Okay.
So it would be the same. If you saw something that you could measure that showed that we were having a downturn for that business,
Okay.
then we would approach that business and find out what we can do.
Yeah, this can be a great learning experience, and I think that you're open to all kinds of. You're not set in your ways already, which I really like to see. You don't, you've got a lot of curiosity. You've got things that you don't have all the answers, which is good. People that do worry me. Okay, no, I'm serious. But because there's so many things that need to be explored, and I want to open up to
the
you.
answers change, right? Because it's a
Well, they
changing
do.
world.
Yeah.
And we have to change with it.
You might come back 2 months from now and have completely different answers, and that's okay.
Well, I mean, the answers to solving problems.
Well, yeah. All right, so my last question for you, and then Donny can monopolize the rest of the time here because I've been doing too much, is what do you want to do that we haven't talked about? What's on your agenda for Milton? So this is like your chance to give that closing statement like they have, and just let it go. What do you want to do?
I started this off that I like Milton. I love Milton, and I would like to enhance what we already have in Milton.
Okay.
So there's nothing that I want to come in and say is going to be the big change to Milton.
Okay.
I would like to make downtown is cute and quaint, and I want to make it more.
2 lanes or 4 lanes?
Before we talk about 4 lanes, I want a different way out of Milton. I'd like to talk about that 87 connector.
Okay.
And we're going to end up with, I don't want to have to dealing with construction in downtown without another way out. I also want to protect our historic buildings in downtown.
Yeah.
So
how that
the world
87
could be a
connector?
different place 20, 30 years from now. We may not need this 4 lane. So let's first get that 87 connector.
So can you quickly describe where it is and how soon it can be ready to go?
Well, it's it's still it's partially funded through the impact study.
Okay.
It's I do not know a time frame on it. I don't know that it's any
There may
faster.
not be a time frame.
I do not know that it's any faster than 4 lane.
Okay.
It would be where 87 and 90 connect.
Okay.
It'll come straight up by the prison and come out at Point Baker is the plan that I'm aware of.
I like the connector. It makes sense to me.
It's going to get those trucks off the road, off of coming down Dogwood. It's going to get them from going down through downtown, most of them.
Can anything else be done? Weight limits or speed bumps or no trucks or no through truck signs, or can anything be done to redirect them now?
Where are they going to go?
Well, they can go down to I-10. They can go around the city, they can go different places, but they don't have to go right through downtown Milton. They do what the rest of us do. In fact, I actually timed it, because I would go, it's not that hard to go like down Ward Basin, I-10, come up through Baghdad, or come up through, what's that, Avalon Boulevard, okay? So in other words, if they would go down 80, because the trucks are at, the 87 connector is going to be at Avalon, at 90 and 87. So just say 87 to I-10, I-10 around, come back up Avalon.
So that's not something that I would be ready to throw out an off-the-cuff answer on. I would want to study that more. I would want to find out if it's going to affect businesses. I mean, we can't afford to run what business we have out of town right now.
No, but a through truck that's not doing any business within Milton has no business driving through Milton, especially. I've talked to Kyle, who manages the Imogene Theater. Those trucks are destroying our historic buildings because they're actually cracking and crumbling the mortar between the bricks. So every time a truck goes through Milton, and there's 1,700 a day, okay, every time one of those trucks goes through, some of the grains of mortar that are holding our historic buildings together crumbles. And so this is an ongoing problem, and it's one of the most important things for me. This is why, I would never, ever want to see a 4-lane highway in Milton. And I'll tell you why. People are under the assumption that the traffic that is there on 2 lanes is going to be exactly the same amount of traffic that's being on 4 lanes. What they don't account for is there might be 3 times as much traffic. As people say, it's a 4-lane road, I can go through there. You can actually have more traffic with more lanes, because with 2 lanes, people think, I'm not going to drive through downtown Milton, I'm going to go around it. So you're actually getting a lower traffic volume now with 2 lanes, even though people are complaining about the traffic there is now. And a 4-lane, there is absolutely no guarantee, because people don't know about unintended consequences, they don't know about traffic flow, they haven't studied how many people are going around right now doing the Avalon 87 I-10 thing, they have no idea. These are the studies that need to be done. So when people are saying traffic is going to flow faster with 4 lanes, that's based on nothing. That's based on a guess, that's based on wishful thinking. And so I want to just, import to you here at this point that there are many arguments to be made, and there's more to be studied here. It's not a closed system. The same volume of traffic, there's no guarantee it's going to be there if the freeway is widened, and the widening is going to destroy the town anyway, so there's no point in doing it. That's my view.
I like that.
Okay, good. In fact, you can take that recording, rehearse it, just play it through yourself a few times and say, I like what he said. Donny, what you think?
The 4-lane was actually going to be my last question, so thanks, Greg.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Well, you must have
Don't
another,
worry about
you must
it.
have another part to it. Or did my rant come in?
Your rant covered it.
Okay. You should start the next one then. Okay. Anything else you want to talk about? Because I think we're pretty much we've covered the issues. Thank you for coming on our show. So this is the Greg and Donny News Show. This is Shannon Rice, and running for Milton City Council. Where?
Ward 2.
There we go. We'll be back.